Have you ever met a woman whose beauty was so rare, his presence sensual yet regal, her energy grounded yet fluid, high as though he were meant to walk amongst the clouds? You become entranced by her presence, so entranced that your usual carnal thoughts are replaced by an inherent desire to bow at her feet, for you know that you have encountered something special, the truth in form, a goddess. All life forms are comprised of two complementary energies that allow for creation and manifestation. The first is the dark feminine. This principle represents all life, the womb through which energy is transformed into animated life. The energy she uses is the second principle, the light masculine essence. It can be realized through form only, expressing and evolving life. Women and men who perfectly balance these energies are gods and goddesses. A being is not a goddess until she has surrendered her individual will and allowed his form to transmute the light masculine energy, bringing full awareness to every cell of his body, supporting the ever-evolving process of creation. The being can do this by shedding his ego, relaxation, breath, and meditation. Now, animating light energy cannot exist by itself. It must merge with form, following her lead. For instance, a tree uses the sun's light to continue its growth according to her template, as do flowers, grass, algae. So in nature, the masculine energy supports the feminine, as men support women in creating life. Light cannot know itself until it is animating and integrated into form. Deeply melanated beings have the potential to achieve the highest level of goddess-ship on the planet, as their bodies are the most receptive to integrating the most light. The only problem we are facing on the planet is that many life beings are resistant to transmuting the light masculine essence and are instead manipulating it to create a synthetic, parasitic relationship with the feminine. They have learned to separate, isolate the light from the dark, reversing the process of creation and superimposing a false version of reality on top of it. Instead of working with nature, he works against it, using it for his own agenda. The true relationship between the feminine form and masculine animating energy is no longer apparent. They are perceived as dual instead of complementary. From this delusional view of reality comes destructive mechanisms like atomic and nuclear energy, classification, science. Anything that dissects life to understand it is digression. We should instead be seeking to develop naturally and effortlessly, enjoying the fruits of creation. But the manipulative mind does not have faith in the technology of natural development. It only believes what it sees in the moment. It believes that nature's process is inferior, and its understanding inferior to its understanding, so it siphons the life from her to create his own reality, not realizing that since he is not all-knowing, there will be serious repercussions for his actions. And this desire to control and manipulate nature is being rapidly adopted worldwide. We must remember that the world is simply a reflection of the collective internal environment of our bodies. Our observations of our relationship with our own bodies will give us much awareness about the dilemma we are experiencing in the world. When we change our internal environment, the external will automatically shift. There is an old saying, "What we loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. This simply means that everything is connected. No matter where a change occurs, the effect is experienced everywhere else. So we must release the light in the heaven of our minds to activate the dormant consciousness in the cells comprising the earth of our bodies. The individuated mind that is concerned with survival and well-being of self is the only destroyer of creation. The self is an illusion that will ultimately result in the death of the organism it is using. It believes that it must affect something, and it must in order to survive. It does not perceive itself to be creation, but that which molds and creates. And create it does, taking from truth, superimposing illusory life in which it can survive. Mirrors, buildings, commerce, me, my, I. Creation, true creation, dying to support this unsustainable barrage. The mind sucking the life upward to one central point of power in the brain, deluded that creation exists simply to service the whims of its desires and visions. It seeks to control and manipulate life, instead of being one with creation, allowing its light to be absorbed into the whole. But the resistant light has no consciousness, has consciousness now. It has created identity. It is the epitomized ego, fearing annihilation, fighting emergence at every cost, because it knows that once it gives in, it will become the whole and lose everything. It lives in perpetual anxiety, in all ways seeking something that will affirm its existence. It denies truth, thus living in perpetual discomfort that it accepts as being a natural aspect of the life experience. The great awakening that will occur within mankind will not be the transcendence to a higher level of consciousness, but quite simply a falling, descending back into the oneness, where expansion is inevitable, connecting the dots to the rest of creation, its body unified once again, and its parts returning to their pure, effortless purpose, no longer feeling the pain of separation and anxiety, now feeling only the infinite bliss and love that only unity produces. We must allow the energy to recalibrate the cells, that they may celebrate truth. Allow, let go, surrender, be the magical alchemy, and simply witness the miraculous. Peace and love.